Welcome back to Riding Bikes in San Diego. We are on Waring and just made a left on Adobe Falls, which is going to become Alvarado Canyon Road. We would have gone straight on Waring, but there are no options for somebody on a bike to actually connect anywhere. It just pretty much goes to the 8 freeway. So we're on this road, and one would think this would be a good route for a bike. It's relatively quiet. It's kind of a service road, and I can't find the origin of this road, but I remember hearing a story a number of years ago about how this was a vanity project by some council member at some point where they wanted easier access to their home in the Allied Gardens area, and this was installed to bypass local traffic. And, well, that's a lousy reason to build a road, especially if you're going to build it with no bike lanes or anything. At least there's a sidewalk, so that gives people who are going from Waring an option to get over to other parts of Grantville. But we are walking along here, and it feels like there's room for a bike lane. There's this little painted gutter. There's no way that's a painted bike lane. There's no signage or anything for it. It seems to be just a gutter. So we're going along here. And as we're going, I want to tell you that when I started looking into this road to make this video, I found that this road is going to be redesigned, or at least the west end is going to be redesigned. We're on the east end right now, and at the west end you'll see it kind of weaves around and it meets up with Fairmount and an exit from the 8, and it's a bit of a mess. It's a total mess if you're outside of a car. Even if you're in a car, I don't know if it's the best design there is. But part of that design, and I will link to the CIP and an article about it and things like that and possible plans. I'll link to those in the description below. But part of the plan specifically says that there will be an increase in pedestrian safety and bike lanes, and that would be wonderful. I completely support that option. But I only see the drawings going so far east, which means that this area we're in now, this no man's land of parked cars beside parking lots beside industrial spaces, I don't know if that would just be there. Of course, we know that one of the features of San Diego bike lanes is that they are inevitably going to end or run into a route that has no option. This road is really wild in that even if it had a bike lane, let's say this had a beautiful, protected, perfect bike lane. Let's say it had floating parking maybe. Whatever. Let's say there were options that were keeping me safe. When I get to the intersection of Fairmount Avenue and Mission Gorge, there's nothing. Like, Mission Gorge is one of the most dangerous places to ride. I don't think I've ever ridden on there without getting harassed by a driver. There's plenty of room for bike lanes to be put in, but we just haven't quite gotten there yet. The neighborhood of Grantville, which we're entering, and we're going to pass a major transit hub, it seems to be going through changes. It seems to be going from a neighborhood of car dealerships and Home Depot and just, commercial spaces into, a place where people are living. They're building housing, they're building affordable housing, they're building condos and apartments. And, once you have people living in a place, they need to be able to get around. This is the wild spot here. So it's like, where do we go? Now I have to make a left here because I want to get to the bike lanes on Fairmount. And there's no infrastructure for it, so I'm just going to dip between these cars here and a little bit of lane splitting, keeping it nice, and talk to this fellow who actually sped past me in the back. This guy who looks like the lead singer of the Goo Goo Dolls or whatever lets me go, and I'm going to do my best to speed up when this light hits. This is such a bummer of an intersection. It's so treacherous every time, and that's why I usually don't take this route. But there is a redesign project, and take a look at this. What if this wasn't here at all and the road deviated to the north. It's okay. We make the turn. There's actually a lot of room, and the driver behind me is going to dip onto the 8, as I suspected he would, and then we get sharrows, and I've actually become a little too comfortable with this underpass here. But some green paint starts up, and I want to say we're good to go, but it's just paint. Paint is a protection, but it's green paint, and it's definitely a comfort after what is to the north of us. So we're going to head south from here, and we're going to connect with some real infrastructure alongside the 15 and go from there. Thanks for coming along with me, and until the next time, we're just going to drive less and ride a bike. Thanks.